Hi, hello, I am Jess Pinili and I am a female empowerment coach. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started into today's video, I would love it if you could press the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. It really supports my channel. Today, I'm coming on here to speak to you about self-worth. In particular, what to do when you have low self-worth. Now, what is self-worth? Self-worth is the way that you view yourself, right? It's the way that you behave, it's the way that you dress, it's the way that you speak, it's the way that you react, and your emotion really shows other people how you view yourself, your confidence levels, everything. I believe that we are born with self-worth. We are born with self-worth. Just imagine that this is self-worth, right? And over time, this starts to deplete slowly and slowly. Why? Because we are choosing to allow external circumstances, experiences, other people to deplete this self-worth tank. I say choose because we have a choice in everything. We get to choose how we react to something. We get to choose how we are going to feel. We get to choose how we are going to behave. A lot of the time, we don't think we have that choice. A lot of the time, we believe we don't have control over what we are doing or what we are feeling, but we do. And that's okay. I'm here to tell you now that you have control. You have the power. With our self-worth tank, over time, you'll see it has been depleted. Number one, affirmations. In particular, self-talk. What is the way that you are talking to yourself every single day? We don't even realize because it's on autopilot. I think we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts per day. Don't come at me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that roughly we do. That's a lot of thoughts. How often are you actually thinking of those thoughts? How often are you actually identifying this is what I'm saying to myself? A lot of the time when we have negative self-talk, it is just running on autopilot. It's like a hamster on a hamster wheel. It just keeps going and we don't realize. Remember, our thoughts create our reality. Everything that you can see beyond you, you have created, you have spoken into your reality. So what are the words that you are saying to yourself every single day? What are you affirming to yourself, to your being when you wake up, when you're with a group of people? What are you saying to yourself when you get dressed, when you look in the mirror, when you are going for a promotion at work, or you're working on a new project, or you're working on your business? What are the things that you are saying to yourself consistently? And are they serving you? Start to identify your negative self-talk. Start to identify the ways that you are bringing yourself down. Remember, we have a choice and we have the power and we are in control. Start to realize that. Start realizing that I am literally choosing what I'm saying to myself every single day. Am I going to choose what's going to benefit me? Write out every single thing that you affirm to yourself, every statement, every word, every sentence that you say to yourself to do with your physical health, your mental health, emotional, spiritual health, and write out why it does not serve you, and then start to replace that with affirmations that do serve you. Remember, when we replace a limiting belief and an affirmation that does not serve us with a affirmation that does serve us, it's not going to work overnight. There's still going to be times where you say the brand new positive affirmation and it doesn't sit right with you. It doesn't quite stick, and that's okay. Think about how long you've been speaking and saying the negative side of things to yourself, and it's now on autopilot. That's what we want to do with the positive side. So start to look at a list of all of the negative affirmations, all of the negative statements, sentences, whatever you want to call it, that you are saying to yourself every single day, and think, how can I shift this to an affirmation that is actually benefiting me? An affirmation that makes me feel good, and an affirmation that is actually serving me. Number two, big game changer, say no. Say no when you want to say no. When we say yes for the sake of saying yes, it is normally because we are trying to people please. We are trying to keep someone we care and love about happy. Whilst we are doing that, we are actually doing ourselves a disservice. When we say yes to someone else when we don't want to, we are actually saying no to ourselves. And we should be saying yes to us first, say yes to you first, and then say yes to other people. And if saying yes to yourself means that you have to say no to another, that is okay. You do not need to feel guilt. You do not need to feel shame around that. It just means that you are putting yourself first and you are realizing that you are your number one priority. Everyone after you is the second priority, and that is okay. Get used to saying no. Get comfortable saying no. When something doesn't sit right with you, when you don't want to do it, you don't even need an excuse to say no. You're allowed to just say no just because you cannot be bothered. So think of the times moving forward where you can say no to reserve your energy, to look after yourself, to put yourself first. Remember, when we say no to someone else, we are saying yes to ourselves, and that is the most important thing. Next up, one of my personal faves is every single day having a daily anchor. So something that can really ground you and center you and bring you back to the present. That is key. When we are in the present moment, we are not worrying or have anxiety about the past or the future. We are here. We are right now. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to live life from. We want to be conscious of how we are living. We don't want to be in a reactive lifestyle. We want to live proactively, so consciously living. So start to think about what can you do every single day that can anchor you, that can bring you back to yourself. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be as small as you want. One of my favorite anchors that I used to use, and yes, you are allowed to change your anchor as often as you need to. Something that I used to use at the start of this year was every single morning I would have a cup of tea. And that cup of tea is something that I wouldn't go on my phone. I wouldn't be doing anything else. I wouldn't be eating. I would sit and I would drink my tea and I would be within the present. And I wouldn't be thinking about everything I had to do. I made that my time, that 10 to 15 minutes of time that I had to myself, that I was able to feel grounded and that I was able just to be in the moment and breathe and be anchored to my day. That is the goal. So start to think, what can you put into your morning routine that is able to anchor you? And you don't even have to just use it in your morning routine. You can use it throughout the day. That's what I mean. It can be as small as you need to really allow you to ground yourself and to bring you back to the present. So what is your daily anchor? And don't forget, you can change it as often as you need. And if you want more than one daily anchor, you absolutely can. Next up, self-soothe. This is something that I share a lot with my private one-on-one coaching clients. And it is thinking about the 5 senses. So we've got hearing, smell, we've got sight, we've got taste, and we've got touch. So start to think, how can I go through all of the senses and self-soothe myself? So for example, smell. Something that soothes me when I smell it is incense or candles. So instantly, I get into this Zen state and it brings me back to the moment and it makes me just feel so good inside. Another example would be self-soothing when it comes to hearing. Binaural beat, any meditation music really helps me self-soothe. It really makes me feel better. It makes me feel calm inside. It helps to regulate my emotions and to really stabilize my nervous system, especially if I've had a bit of a stressful day or my thoughts are all over the place. So go through all of the 5 senses, write a list. It can be as many as you need for each of the senses and start to think, how can I implement these in my daily routine to self-soothe and to bring me back home to myself, make me feel safe in my own body, my mind, and my soul. My last tip to help with self-worth is to audit the company that you keep. As the saying goes, and I know I'm going to butcher this, you are the product of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And it's so true. Start to think of your mannerisms, start to think of your behavior or little quirks that you have that you picked up from friends and family or even your co-workers. We start to blend into the people that we are spending most of the time with. So you want to make sure that you are spending time with people that you value and you know that everything that you are picking up and every interaction that you have with this person is in alignment with who you are and who you are becoming, thinking about your higher self. Think of all the people that you hang out with. Is there anyone that you are spending time with and you come away feeling drained? You come away feeling pretty crappy from hanging out with them. Those are the types of people that you need to audit and either, yes, cut them out of your life, or start to minimize the time that you are spending with them. What I would do is write a list of all the people in your life, friends, family, the person that you're in a relationship with, your co-workers, anyone that you spend ample time with, that you give time and energy and commitment with. It doesn't mean you have to see them every single week, but it just means they're a part of your life. Go through the list and start to understand how they make you feel. Start to understand what value that they're bringing into your life, and ask yourself, are they adding the value that you want to have in your life? Are they bringing you something that you want in your life? And do you feel good every time you have an interaction with them? Do you feel like you can trust them? Do you feel that it is a safe relationship, a healthy relationship, a happy relationship? And those are the questions that I ask myself when I go through all of the company that I keep. We are our own worst enemies when we keep someone in our life who doesn't make us feel too good, and we know it. You know when someone isn't serving you. You know when someone isn't making you feel good. And so it is up to you. You have a choice to cut that person out or to minimize the time that you spend with that person. So audit the company that you keep. These 5 tips are the top tips that I personally use and have been using for years now to ensure that when I am thinking about my self-worth, or I feel that my self-worth is starting to get depleted, I look at all of these. I look at what I can do better when it comes to the company that I keep. I look at how I can better self-soothe myself, or do I need to switch up my daily anchor? I always think about, what am I saying to myself? What am I repeating to myself on a daily basis? And I make sure that I am saying no when I want to say no. There is no guilt or shame that needs to be attached to saying no. And I remind myself that I'm reminding you of that right now. Self-worth is a state of mind. Self-worth is something that you are able to fill up, that you are able to work on. Don't think if right now, just because you feel like you have self-worth, that you are never going to be able to work on it. Yes, you are. And you have the power and you have the control to work on it. It just takes these small steps consistently every single day to really top up your self-worth. So let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite tip and what are you going to start using today? Or are you going to start using all of these self-worth tips? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.